All right, man. So tell us about the new one that you're going to do, Stories from Depression. I guess it kind of speaks for
Yeah,
itself, but I mean, have you been depressed before? Is that what it's about mainly?
yeah, yeah, certainly. So yeah, Stories from Depression. Again, I'm very excited for this album. This is an original album. We made all the beats from scratch. My producer, Wayne Classic, produced it all from scratch. Me and him sat down for about a bunch of months. We've been working on this thing for about a year now, and so it's all original songs, all original lyrics, yeah. So basically, the picture behind it, Stories from Depression. So as I was saying earlier, depression is really the thing that the Lord used to bring me to Himself. I kind of struggled with depression my whole life because as I got older and understood, like I said, even though I had a stepfather, which I looked to as my real father because he raised me my whole life, even though I had him there, as I got older, I understood, dang, my biological pops didn't want me though. And so when that started really become like, as I understood what that meant, it really started messing with me. And so I started having identity issues, self-esteem issues. And so there would be times even before this exact moment that I'm talking about that I would go through mild depression and really just kind of feel like, man, I'm not worth nothing at times and stuff like that. Even though I had, a loving family, I was playing sports, and so I had a bunch of good things going for me, but like deeply in my heart, I knew like, or I felt like I wasn't worth nothing. And so, but around my senior year, though, that's when depression really, really became something that I knew too well. Like, it honestly would just haunt me every night. There would be times where I wanted to kill myself. I remember my stepfather, he had a gun that I knew that he kept hidden, and I would literally have thoughts like, man, I'm just going to end it all tonight. I'm going to go grab that gun, and I'm just going to end it tonight. Yeah, I'm praise God that I didn't, because around that time when I was going through that, just feeling hopeless, I cried out to a guy named Tim Katz, who I knew who was a local believer. Remember, at this time, I wasn't really a Christian. I've heard of Jesus, but I really didn't know him. And so I cried out to this guy that I knew who went to a local church. And he actually sat down and had coffee with me, invited me to church. And before you knew it, him and another guy named Joe McDaniel sat me down and discipled me, man. And so, Stories from Depression it's a story from the beginning to the end. It's a progressional story from the beginning. The first half of the album, you really hear the darkness and the hopelessness that I was going through. And then as it increases and goes on, progresses in the story, you start to see like when the Lord changed my life. And you even see that sometimes I still go through depression, but now I have someone I can go to that I really didn't know beforehand. And so that's kind of how Stories from Depression goes. It's just a story from the beginning to the end. So, when it releases, you definitely want to listen from first track to the end. There's 15 tracks on the album, and so, plenty of content. Like I said, it's original. There's a lot of different variety of beat selection that we did, which I'm excited for. There's really no, like each song you don't know what to expect, kind of. Like it's just all different. And so there's a lot of instrumentation. We use a lot of like violin horns, guitars, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think the music's really dope. But apart from that, I think the message itself will be able to help people, which I hope it will. That's the main focus. That's what our main mission was. We want to talk about a topic that not too many rappers talk about, because nowadays people want to flex. They want to think. They want to rap about how their life is perfect and I got all this money, I got all these women. Nobody really want to talk about real stuff, like real struggles. And so as being an MC, being a hip-hop artist, I think we should bring that back into our music. Like, we need to talk about real stuff. I think Stories from Depression does that, because at the end of the day, Christians go through depression, Muslims go through depression, atheists go through depression. And so the message is for anybody, I believe. But also, like I said earlier, at the end of the day, though, in the message itself as well is to show the true hope, which is in Christ Jesus, and He can heal you from depression. So that's kind of the mission and the vision of the album, for sure.
Nice one. I think that's always a good one when you've got any music that's got true, honest kind of like your emotions and life in there, and you've got your own.
Sure.
You know, like you've gone through depression, so you put that into the track, and any music really that has raw emotion in it is always, I think, it's always going to hit bars. It's always going to hit people's nerves, and I think most of the time, honestly, the music that has the real hard hitting stuff in it and the raw emotions in there, that's the music that does well. So let's pray it does well, man.